time for Sports on the Bayou, a detailed account of the sports scene in Louisiana. Mike Detillier, Bobby Hebert, and Rich Maury will break down the weekly Saints game, brought to you by the American flag, as well as the St. Martin and Bourke weekly LSU breakdown. Harry McCullough will bring us the Louisiana's Cajun Bayou Lafourche Parish segment, featuring key games of local interest. Dr. Pat, our favorite ENT, is always on top of the
asking all them questions. Why you asking all them questions? Make a statement.
Stan Graba will bring us local pertinent medical sports information as well as high school sports. Martin False, that's me, will open up the mics in the crowd to see what's on the fans' mind. More talk and plenty of audience questions. Live from the Eugene and Lorraine Falls studios in Houma, Louisiana, it's time for Sports on the Bayou. And here's Mike Detillier.
Welcome to another version of Sports on the Bayou. Mike Detillier along with the Cajun Cannon, Bobby Hebert, Rich Maury. We've got a lot to talk about in one of the most frustrating weekends of the season if you're a football fan in South Louisiana. We'll be right back with more Sports on the Bayou.
Over the years, Louisiana's Cajun Bayou has seen more than its fair share of challenges. We're no strangers to adversity, and we know what it's like to struggle. These are unprecedented times, and while people will say this time is like nothing they've ever seen, we've heard that before. And just like all the other times, we'll get through this. Remember the good times. Remember Lafourche.
If you have nasal breathing difficulties, snoring, mouth breathing, gritting and grinding of your teeth, TMJ, or headaches during the day, along with fatigue, depression, weight gain, you may have sleep apnea, which can easily be diagnosed via an in-office visit and home sleep study. If you or a loved one are having these symptoms and it's impacting your life, please schedule an appointment with us for an evaluation.
Sports on the Bayou is brought to you by Louisiana's Cajun Bayou. You'll remember Lafourche. And by St. Martin and Bourke, attorneys at law. Know your rights. Sports on the Bayou corporate sponsors are South Louisiana Bank, i.e. Terrebonne General Health Systems and their Community Sports Institute. Barker Honda, the Barker family tradition of quality. Alford and Associates for all of your insurance needs. And Bayou For, disinfecting environmental services. Now let's go back to Sports on the Bayou with Mike Detillier, Bobby Hebert, and Rich Maury.
We're back here on Sports on the Bayou, guys, and one of those I'll be damn weekends. This is the second part of that. The Saints losing in overtime, 27-21 to the Giants. They had this game in their pockets at the end of the third quarter.
Well, the same thing with LSU. I mean, it's like you think you're going to win the game. Oh, well, not so fast.
And
very discouraging.
Yeah, no question. And no pressure on Daniel Jones. And, man, I don't know what the talk show people in New York are going to talk about this week because Daniel Jones really played well. He got no pressure on him. And, boy, they hit the big plays. And that was something, guys, we talked about throughout the week. They weren't going to just sort of grind it on you. But they wanted to hit the big play, and the Saints gave up two real big ones and then one in overtime to Saquon Barkley.
You think about this. You're never going to win consistently, even though you have a dominant defense. We leaning upon our defense. One play, 52-yard touchdown. One play, 54 yards. What? Is this back with Spags and the Bounty Gate year? It's like all of a sudden you're getting gashed. No, Mike, that's not a winning formula. Our defense has to play great not good for us to truly win.
Right.
I
The
mean, whether
offense
you
is-
want to accept that or not, that's just the way we structure
Offense
it.
isn't going to be potent. We always go back to you got to win 2 out of the 3 deals, special teams.
You lost that.
Offense, and we lost the special teams as well, right?
Man, come on.
So you lose the offense and the special teams, or defense rather than the special teams. Offense isn't going to be consistently 30-plus points.
All I know
we're not structured that way.
It's just not going to happen. So.
All I know with Rosas, I hope he didn't put a long-term deposit on any plays that he's written out right now, because as soon as Will Lutz can come back, he's going to be adios. But you could tell Sean got no confidence in him, and then all of a sudden he lets him try a 58-yard field goal. And everybody's, he kicked it long enough. Well, my problem is it's not the length of the kick; it's can he kick it straight?
Right.
You got to kick it through the goalpost.
It's all hindsight. Sean said, punt it, pin him back. Look at Gillikin; he's been outstanding. But that's all in hindsight. When you look at it, because if you make it, then you feel good.
Yeah, but you turned down a shorter field goal earlier to punt.
Well, that's a coaching decision that's going to be questioned.
You have the confidence in defense, which I'm not sure was there all day.
Well, the thing is,
he saw they weren't getting pressure.
Right.
He saw they weren't getting pressure.
So why would Lattimore take a chance and get a pick 6 in the flat and let Saquon Barkley run up the sideline? You got deep third. You got to cover that. Daniel Jones. If Daniel Jones was with the Saints and Sean Payton, he'd be in the Pro Bowl. I'm just telling you, Daniel Jones is that good. They might hate him in New York. Send him to New Orleans. I
might happen
right now.
Be careful what you wish for right now.
No, I'm telling you, I don't think the future quarterback for the Saints is on the roster.
He's not.
The starter.
I've always felt that. I always felt that. We're going to go to the highlights of the Saints' 27-21 loss to the New York Giants. And after the missed field goal, here it is. Daniel Jones throws it up, and the fastest player in the NFL, John Ross, catches it. He knew he fumbled, but look at Debo. Doesn't even make a play on the ball. He's turning around, frustrated with himself.
He's frustrated because he got beat. How about you go play through the play? Now, this is a nice play.
Nice play. Winston
that was
to
the Drew
Juwan
Brees
Johnson.
type play, touchdown right there.
Then Winston back to pass, and he just airs this out. Nice catch by Marquez Callaway.
Winston can't do that. Taysom Hill cannot. Right. He cannot throw a deep ball, whether you want to accept that or not. I can tell you.
On a highlight reel run,
now he can
7 tackles.
He can do this at a very high level.
Who was complaining last week? Oh, he's going to run the ball every time he does. Okay, he scored 2 touchdown runs.
Now, this one wasn't quite as impressive because he had a hole, but still goes up to and man.
No, he's beast mode. He is like the white beast mode when you look at what he had in Seattle. You see, this is like Lattimore screwed this up. Come on, we guarantee you $60 million. You cannot do that.
You got to make
do your responsibility.
And then they go for the 2 points, and then Jones shows the mobility. We talked about it last week. He can run with the football. Their field goal kicker didn't miss, and he pops this one through, brings it into overtime, and then it didn't take long. Saquon Barkley right up the gut, in for the score, and it's game, set, match, Giants.
Barkley could score from anywhere.
Man,
He's that good.
I was going to ask you, the thing in him coming off the knee injury, does he look like the same guy you saw at Penn State?
I think he was just spectacular at Penn State. I don't know that he's there yet. I mean, it's only been, 7-8 months? I mean, it was early.
It's not even a year.
Yeah, it's less than a year. So I don't think, it's not obvious to the average fan. I don't think he's 100%. But his 85%
is better than everybody else's.
Good, right?
And his ability to catch the ball, too. People don't give him a lot of credit. He's a really good receiver.
He's all over the field.
And if you look at it, star players touches. Saquon Barkley had 18 touches, 126 total yards. Alvin Kamara, 26 touches, 120 yards. Now, we did not throw Alvin Kamara a forward pass.
What
if Drew Brees is the quarterback, I guarantee you he's getting a target.
Well, and you asked Coach Payton last night, and he gave you,
the runaround.
I guess, a diplomatic answer to it, but it wasn't the correct one.
Remember
it's the first time Kamara's been in a Saints uniform. They don't try and throw him a pass.
But you remember Brees was –
That's the quarterback.
We were throwing to 11 and 12
quarterback.
Different receivers when Brees was in there.
Yeah.
We would spread that thing around. I think last week we only threw to like 6 different receivers or 7. Tight end didn't even catch a pass last week, right? I don't think.
Well, what I'm worried about –
he's not getting it around.
I think this loss, we don't know how the playoff picture is going to unfold. But
You're
this
going to come back and
is
say,
gonna
how'd you
come
lose
back
this?
to haunt the Saints somewhere down the line. You go, now, we're going to be in December and all that. You remember that game against the Giants? God, what if we'd have won that? I'm telling you, Mike, how close it's going to be down the stretch. Because I thought right now, I realistically thought that I thought we'd have a winning record. So when you look at it right now, we're 2-2. I thought that right now we would be 3-1, and we lose to the Redskins, or lose to the Washington football team next week.
Yeah, you thought you'd lose the first game into Washington.
Yes, I thought we'd beat the Panthers, Patriots. I thought we'd beat the Giants.
So you still got a shot at 3-2.
Because I looked at, yeah, exactly. It's like I'm not predicting who we're going to beat or not beat. But listen, right now, against going to Washington on the road, we are 1.5 favorite. What does that mean? I don't know. You flip a coin. 1.5, that's like a pick-em.
That basically is a pick-em.
But the Saints have to win to get to 3-2. I think if they're going to have a chance to not be win one, lose one.
Well, Washington feels the same way.
Exactly. And not 9-8, 8-9. This is a critical game coming up.
We'll be back with more Sports on the Bayou.
Was your business interrupted by Hurricane Ida? You may be entitled to compensation. Insurance companies may try to pay you much less than your losses, or even deny your claim altogether. St. Martin and Bork and Hoffest of All are partnering together to fight for your fair payout. Go to myidaclaim.com for your free case review today. Never give up because your insurance company has denied your claim, and never accept a lowball offer. Let St. Martin and Bork and Hoffest of All help you weather the storm. Visit myidaclaim.com today.
Barker Honda, we're overflowing with used cars.
We have over 100 used cars, trucks, and SUVs priced to sell.
Many units under $8,000. Save thousands on light and used certified vehicles.
At Barker Honda, every unit goes through a 120-point inspection.
So you can buy with confidence.
Come see us today here at Barker Honda Used Cars.
Because you know it's better at Barker.
Sports on the Bayou is brought to you by Louisiana's Cajun Bayou. You'll remember Lafouche. And by St. Martin and Bork, attorneys at law. Know your rights. Now let's go back to Sports on the Bayou with Mike Detillier, Bobby Hebert, and Rich Maudie.
We're back here on Sports on the Bayou. Guys, even more frustrating is LSU. A game, again, in the pockets. You had it won. I give Bo Nix a lot of credit. Man, listen, he had a real difficult game against Georgia State. It looked as though maybe T.J. Finley would get the nod. But, man, he hung in there, showed a lot of mental toughness.
Well, was he
and
Johnny Manziel?
Man, he looked like Johnny Manziel. You know, and end up at the end, you can't take time off the clock because you can't run it.
Yes.
The defense is gassed. And thank God for Cade York. That's all I'm going to tell you because, man, you know, he's kicking field goals that unbelievable. But this LSU offense is really stuck in neutral, so to speak. They live on the big play and die on the big play. And if Coach O thought the seat was warm before, now it's really hot because you don't have a lot of margin for error.
Well, look at your facing the media schedule coming up, and you're running for 11 yards rushing.
And now you play Kentucky, who's not giving up rushing yards to anybody. Exactly. Well, to me, that don't make a difference because LSU ain't going to run it against them to begin with. Again, you got to live and die on the big play. And Max Johnson's got to hit those shots. He missed one with Besh open. And then, man, Keishon Butte, he's open and bobbles the ball out of bounds on a critical spot. So it's wasn't a good week.
To help out Max Johnson, to me, that when you call in plays, you got to get in and out the huddle or in and out on the line and just run the play. Not you got to take a timeout because I'm worried about having a delayed game. Okay, what are we running? To me, I'm always a big fan of you call a play in the huddle and you keep that play on. Now, I don't know if they have enough smart receivers and everything, and then you side adjust. You call a play, and then according to the coverage, you would adjust that play. Now, you should break in and out the huddle. If you have too many in the box, then you change the play. Not like, okay, I think we have a good play, but I want a better play. And then you have delay game, and Max Johnson is not confident what he's doing. When Max Johnson is calling out Coach Pease and all that, let me tell you, now Coach O is held accountable for this because he hired him. Coach Pease is in over his head. He's like a high school coach. All of a sudden, you're having to call plays against the SEC defenses, and what happens is a chess match, and he's just kind of freaking out. So when Coach O says maybe we want Steve Ensminger in there because it brings stability. People think like we won the national championship. Oh, Joe Brady. Man, he got too much credit. You know who was calling the plays? Steve Ensminger.
He called them.
Now you had Joe Burrow. It was Steve Ensminger calling the plays, and Joe Brady would put his 2 cents in on third down.
You still have to have the talent.
telling
you have to execute, though, and that's.
I agree, Rich.
You have to execute.
Come on, talent got to win in this spot.
Again, the offensive line is soft as cotton. Did they take any pride in getting their ass whipped? I mean, I don't know. We got a Harvard center. He's really smart, but I don't know.
We're going to go to the highlights of LSU's loss to Auburn.
Back.
Right off the bat, nice drive, and Max Johnson puts this one right in the bucket.
Now that was a great.
that was a great.
That was an
hookup
NFL
with
throw.
Keyshawn Boutte. And so, Bo Nix throws this one up here. And, man, listen, LSU's defense really played well early. It's set up. Cade York comes in, 33-yard field goal.
the ball, getting in positive territory. How about, see, you can't run, you can't punch it in. Too many field goals.
Then over the top, Jack Besh. Man, you talk about a football player. Man, Jack's that. But, again, you can't get it in.
Can't cash it in.
So, it's Cade York. So it's 13-0. And here was a back-breaking play. You got him on 4th and 2, and you got him by the teriyaki here, and he's running around, and he just sees the guy swing open, throws it downfield, touchdown. That's when you knew, man, this might be a long night.
Well, that's a nightmare. I mean, everybody wants to cream the quarterback.
Just tackle him.
Tackle him.
And then again, Bo Nix, with his Johnny Manziel interpretation, throws it downfield.
That was like 4K at Shaw High School right there.
And they settle for the field goal here, so it's now 13-10. And you say, this might be trouble. Then again.
Okay, tackle him. How about
Nix gets away and slings it out.
Look at the way he's throwing the ball. One leg in the air.
And sidearm. Almost like right Archie used to do. And then they get a blocked field goal here. Fortunately, Auburn's special teams is El Pudo too, Bob. I mean, but man, Cade York comes in. Okay, bang. You get it now. It's 19-10. But then Bo Nix, man, all night long, he was squeezing out first downs. He gets it inside the 5, and then with a little option play, keeps it, gets it for the score.
Like I can tell you, if TJ Finley would have played, LSU would have won. Because he can't do what Bo Nix can do.
He can't run around like that.
Exactly.
Then you get the 2-point conversion. So now it's 19-19. LSU with a shot. Auburn takes the lead, throws it up. Interception. But what they didn't show you was the misplay with Jack Besh, who was open, and Boutte's juggle of the ball and falling out of bounds, which was at that time ruled as a catch. And then when you went back and saw it wasn't. So he didn't get any help with that. It's a crazy stat of the week, and I'll give it out. And the trajectories are different. But at the same time at LSU, Ed Orgeron and Nick Saban have the same record, 48-16.
What? Okay, but my
just think of that.
Say that again. Say that again.
In the same amount of games, LSU, Nick Saban, and Ed O have the same record, 48 wins, 16 losses.
Now,
just think of that. And look how you look at Nick
perception,
and how it's looked at Ed. But it's the trajectory of the program. At that point.
Okay, and it's not an opinion. That's actually what has happened. People would be shocked. They would not get that right, Mike. A trivia thing that Nick Saban and Coach O, now the trajectory is different.
It's totally different.
But right now, same record.
Same record, and both of them having a national championship at the same time.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah. So think about that, how you look at things today, and it's as Bobby always says, what have you done for me lately?
All I know is I ain't throwing Coach O on the bus in trouble of road.
Coach O's next team, he should win 3 or 4 national titles.
We'll be back with more Sports on the Bar.
Over the years, Louisiana's Cajun Bayou has seen more than its fair share of challenges. We're no strangers to adversity, and we know what it's like to struggle. These are unprecedented times, and while people will say this time is like nothing they've ever seen, we've heard that before. And just like all the other times, we'll get through this. Remember the good times. Remember Lafouche.
There are many strengths in our cancer center. I think one of the biggest is patients don't have to go elsewhere to get technology for their diagnosis and treatment of their cancer. Our treatment machine, the linear accelerator, allows us to pinpoint and treat cancers with more accuracy than ever was possible before. Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center provides leading-edge technology with the highest quality care and the best treatment options unique to each patient.
Sports on the Bayou is brought to you by Louisiana's Cajun Bayou. You'll remember Lafouche. And by St. Martin and Bork, attorneys at law. Know your rights. Sports on the Bayou corporate sponsors are South Louisiana Bank, i.e. Terrebonne General Health Systems and their Community Sports Institute. Barker Honda, the Barker family tradition of quality. Alford and Associates for all of your insurance needs. And Bayou For, disinfecting environmental services. Now let's go back to Sports on the Bayou with Mike Detillier, Bobby Hebert, and Rich Maudy.
We're back here on Sports on the Bayou. Martin, you got it, brother.
Before we get to the naming sponsors, Cody Gray, Chuck Bork, Mama said to make sure to tell y'all hello out there today.
She's back. She's coming back in the house,
in a couple of weeks.
Her little suite over there is vacuum packed. No germs, no
her
nothing.
Suite is ready.
Ready for her.
Oh, we have
Nobody
that
goes in the suite until Mom goes in the suite. Right?
Amen. That's right.
All right. So I'm looking at the USA Today, and Lafouche made the USA Today. Cody, spread the good news for everybody.
Sure. So we did make the USA Today. Thibodaux has been nominated as one of the top small-town food scenes in the entire country.
Come on.
Yes. So
awesome.
Currently voting is open until October 25th. You can go online. You can vote on their poll. We're currently ranked at number 3. And I think out of 15, I think there's 15 or 20 currently. So we're up at number 3. So we got until the 25th to hit number 1 for the small town food scene in the country. However, though, we are the only one nominated in the state of Louisiana.
How does that?
Wow, that's awesome.
They didn't nominate Mandeville? I can't believe that.
They didn't even make the top 20. I'm sorry, Rich. Okay. All right.
220.
Let me ask Chuck. Chuck's been helping people out with insurance cases and all. Got a lot of good local companies here, but what's going on with that, and how many have you been able to help?
Well, Martin, I think what we're seeing now is, like in a lot of what we do, some people do the right thing, some people do the wrong thing. So now that folks are starting to get their initial reports from their insurance companies, and not all of them are doing the right thing. So there's been a number of folks we've been able to help out, telling them, again, like you hear me say all the time, not everyone needs a lawyer in these situations, but when folks aren't being treated right, it does them good to come consult with a lawyer. So a number of those folks we've been helping, and we're still doing what we can to get out in the community to do some help. We did another feed, fed some people about a week ago, and we're encouraging all the folks we work with in communities, New Orleans, Lafayette, Lake Charles, hey guys, we still need help down here, and it's going to be a long haul, and we're in it for the long haul, and all I can tell of the folks that are out there watching, we're not forgetting you, we're in it for the long haul, and we're encouraging as many people as we can to come down. The city of Houma seems to be getting on its feet, but as Martin, you know, you go down the bayou, there's still a lot of work that needs to be done. So, and again, if for those of you who are out there, if you have some questions about your insurance claim, are they doing the right thing, are they doing the wrong thing? Not everyone needs a lawyer, but we're willing to at least answer your questions.
All right, we got a good one in the house today, Alford and Associates. Give them a round of applause. They're doing a great job. All right, we're going to take a break. We're going to be right back right here on Sports on the Bayou.
In the aftermath of Hurricane Ida, insurance companies may try to pay you much less than your losses or even deny your claim altogether. St. Martin and Bork and Hoffest Duval are partnering together to help you during this difficult time. Our hurricane insurance recovery attorneys will fight for you and your loved ones. Go to myidaclaim.com for your free case review today. Never give up because your insurance company has denied your claim, and never accept a lowball offer. Let St. Martin and Bork and Hoffest Duval help you weather the storm. Visit myidaclaim.com today.
Here at South Louisiana Bank, we support our neighbors, the organizers, the helpers, the leaders, the dreamers. We support those that move our community forward. Louisiana has grown from the dedication, commitment, and loyalty of the people who call this beautiful place home. We are proud to offer our services to the communities in South Louisiana. South Louisiana Bank. It's better when we bank together.
Sports on the Bayou is brought to you by Louisiana's Cajun Bayou. You'll remember Lafourche. And by St. Martin and Bork, attorneys at law. Know your rights. Now let's go back to Sports on the Bayou with Mike Detillier, Bobby Hebert, and Rich Maury.
Back here on Sports on the Bayou. Martin, kicking it to you, brother.
All right, we're going to give it up for our corporate sponsors now. Way on the end over there. Look who's in a sling, y'all.
What?
Steve
What happened?
Crispino, South Louisiana Bank. Every time I see him, he's in a new device. Not sure what's going on.
Bionic
Steve.
man now. He's a bionic man. He
Is
got
that
some mechanics in
elbow
there.
surgery?
But that's all right.
Shoulder?
Hebert, you're going to have to go
God,
through that.
I need shoulder surgery. I
But he's
think
still a
I'm out
sponsor,
of taking
so I gotta
shots.
take it
I can't
easy
take
on
no more shots.
All right, let's give it up for Terrebonne General Health Systems. We got Mike Nugent, Kyle Falk in the house today. And Mike, I don't know what kind of hair dye you're using, buddy, but keep it up. That is something special. All right, we have Barker Honda. Lester's got his gang up there today. And just real quick, Lester, who we got at your table? We're going to interview him a little later.
Nickel soccer coaches, Kayla King and Coach Robert.
Yeah, to see you have Dean in the house. Dean, is Grant Al coming back or what? Oh, yeah, we'll be back. Okay, all right. That's all I want to hear.
You asking Dean if Grant Al's coming back?
No, that's all I
staying
want
for
to
every
hear.
storm. All right, we got Alford and Associates. I said it before. They're working hard for the people. Give them a hand. Great hand. All right, we also have BioPure, new sponsor on the show. They're out there disinfecting everything in the area, so give them a great round of applause. You might want to spray around that set in a little bit. You're going to get it?
All kinds of things crawling around here.
When I'm around Rich, the mildew just grows.
That's the Italian blood.
Well, I got to be honest. I don't know who shops down aisle 13 at Walgreens more, if it's Rich or Mike Nugent. I'm not quite sure. All right, we're going to kick it to Harry.
Jealousy
Harry,
will get him
one of the
nowhere.
bright spots, Nickel State.
Hey, the Colonels, man. So they are off to a good start. Southland Conference, they're 1-0. They jumped out this time. Last time, they kind of sat around, but they scored 28-0. Julian Gums is over 100 yards early on. They're great running back. And he's walking around the sidelines. A kickoff comes over. He gets hit in the knee, and he hurt himself. Now, we're going to find out Friday for sure if he can play against Southeastern. But, yeah, they take him out of the game so he doesn't get hurt, and he gets hurt on the sideline. So the Colonels
What?
Yeah.
Really?
You got to
That's
be
a
away
dangerous
from the
game.
sideline. Go in the bench, closer to the bench, get way back.
Or pay attention, You're probably looking at cheerleaders, But, he gets hurt on the sidelines. But they did jump all over Houston Baptist, 28-0. Lindsey Scott, another double-triple, as he's over 100 yards rushing and passing. So early on, they get on Julian Gums. That's him right there, 28, going in for the touchdown. They let it 7-0, and Scott runs it in for the touchdown, and they're up 14-0. This is all in the first quarter of play. Then Julian Gums again for 4 yards, and he's in again. And like I say, then we take him out, and then he gets hurt on the sidelines. So the Colonels start playing some players. Cohen Grenier comes in. He's quarterbacking now. Pass out to Lee Negrato, and this will be a touchdown. So Colonels are now up early second quarter, 28-0 is the score. So later on, it's Grenier passing. This will be intercepted by Brennan Young. Got to watch that linebacker underneath. And this would lead to a touchdown for the Huskies, and made it 28-7. Then Brady Brunell is punting. Lloyd Nash will come back. That's a fumble. It's recovered, and that would lead to another touchdown. So it's some turnovers that are getting Houston Baptist back in this game, but Lindsey Scott back in now. He'll go for not 11, not 21, but 31 yards for the touchdown. 35-14 at that point, and then Scott again will go out to Dante's Costly for 9 yards for the touchdown. They go on to win this one by the score 48-17. Like I said, now they are 1-0 in league, 2-2 overall. They'll play Southeastern, the first of two against Southeastern. So they're not playing a doubleheader, but they'll play them now, and they'll play them again later on in the season as the Southland Conference is going to play.
And H, wait till you get to see, if you haven't seen him before, Cole Kelly. You talk about a guy that if you saw 2 years ago, man, you say he ain't that good.
Right.
You look at him now. Is the guy who won the Walter Payton Award a year ago, and man, he is off to a super fast start. 3 times has been named the Louisiana Offensive Player of the Week.
Yeah.
No, we're barely in October, and he's won it 3 times.
And Mike, he's a giant.
He's like 6'7".
That's a kid from St. Thomas More, right?
Yeah, St. Thomas More.
And he went to Arkansas.
Went to Arkansas.
And he ended up here. A good-looking player, and actually he's not a statue. You know, a lot of times you think of 6'7" guys, but he moves around, throws the ball.
He was their leading rusher last week, 68 yards.
And Frank Selfo's doing a good job.
Man, Frank's done a great job. Yeah.
Obviously, his brother was with Tulane all those years. He was on that staff, but he seems a little more wide open, and they look good.
Well, if you look from a national perspective and the stage, considering the Southland Conference, now they're not in the Southland Conference anymore. Sam Houston's #1 in the nation, but Southeastern, Mike, they're like 15, 16, somewhere around there. So it's going to be a challenge for the Colonels.
Yeah. A big challenge defensively.
And we'll get them twice. So we'll see. Southeast is doing a lot what Nichols did, actually, in the last couple of years.
Yeah, sure.
Turning around.
Thank you, H. We appreciate it. We'll be back with more Sports on the Bayou.
Over the years, Louisiana's Cajun Bayou has seen more than its fair share of challenges. We're no strangers to adversity, and we know what it's like to struggle. These are unprecedented times, and while people will say this time is like nothing they've ever seen, we've heard that before. And just like all the other times, we'll get through this. Remember the good times. Remember Lafourche.
For years, Tony Alford and Priscilla Larpenter have been the foundation of what is now Alford & Associates. Their passion and vision have been embedded company-wide. It's about making sure that our community is strong and protected for the next generation.
I have such respect and pride for our company, and I'm excited to bring new and innovative ideas to our clients.
It's quite simple. It's the mindset of our organization to protect you from life's hardships.
Your benefits are our business.
Sports on the Bayou is brought to you by Louisiana's Cajun Bayou. You'll remember Lafourche. And by St. Martin and Bourke, attorneys at law. Know your rights. Sports on the Bayou corporate sponsors are South Louisiana Bank, i.e. Terrebonne General Health Systems and their Community Sports Institute. Barker Honda, the Barker family tradition of quality. Alford & Associates for all of your insurance needs. And Bayou For, disinfecting environmental services. Now let's go back to Sports on the Bayou with Mike Detillier, Bobby Hebert, and Rich Maury.
We're back here on Sports on the Bayou. H, I'll throw it to you, brother.
We're hanging around to talk about high school football. We're not exactly sure. It's been like, 5 weeks, almost 6 weeks now since the storm happened. So some teams are playing third, fourth games. But Stan Gravois is up to date on our local teams, and he has this package on our high school football players.
Although it doesn't seem like it, we're halfway through the regular season of high school football. Hi everybody, Stan Gravois here. We're going to take a look back at week 5 of the high school football season, and we'll preview week 6 here on our weekly high school report.
After no score at halftime on a muddy field in Napoleonville, Thibodeau gets on the board first. This a Ian Roderick pass to Kobe Blanchard for 9 yards, 7-0 Thibodeau. But running back Jerry Wiggins of Assumption High School finds the end zone on the next 2 possessions for Assumption. The first on this 53-yard run. Credit the official for trying to keep up with the action. His second touchdown was from 11 yards out at the very end of the third quarter. And that was enough for the Mustangs as they kept Thibodeau out of the end zone for the rest of the game. Final score from Napoleonville, Assumption 13, Thibodeau High School 7. At E.D. White, it was all Cardinals over the Ellender Patriots. They scored early and often. Here it was Matt Melanson on a 26-yard touchdown run to open up the scoring. On the Cardinals' next possession, it was this 59-yard touchdown pass from sophomore Jake Sternfeld to Grant Bluant. After the extra point, 14-0 Cardinals. Then Sternfeld shows off his running ability after making an Ellender defensive player miss in the backfield. He runs it 51 yards into the end zone for another E.D. White touchdown. On the Cardinals' next possession, Braxton Como gets into the end zone. This a nice 6-yard touchdown run. And our final E.D. White highlight, a 16-yard run by Jeff Dietrich. He bowls it into the end zone. No problems for E.D. White. The Cardinals have not given up an offensive point this year. They win it 51-12. Already with a 3-0 lead, Terrebonne High School takes advantage of this miscue on special teams by Central Lafourche. On the very next play, it's Malik Miles running it in around right side. Terrebonne up after the extra point, 10-0. The Tigers extend that lead in the second quarter. Kyron Robinson hits Kalen Billiot for a 51-yard touchdown. And it's Robinson again in the third quarter. He hits Evan Olivier for another Terrebonne touchdown. Tigers were up 26-0 at this point. Central Lafourche does get on the board late. Carson Ogeron, a pass out here. He throws it to Micaiah Slayton. Too little, too late for the Trojans. They're still looking for that first win in 2 years. They lose to Terrebonne 26-8. Other scores from the Bayou region. Vanderbilt puts up a good fight against St. Charles Catholic, but they lose at 24-14. That game played on Saturday. On Thursday night, it was too much Lutcher. They defeat South Terrebonne 57-28. Destrehan, no problem with Bourgeois, 45-0 in that one. And although South Lafourche hung around with Central of Baton Rouge for a while, the Wildcats pull away. They win it 56-21. Other scores from the Bayou region. Patterson has no problems with Morgan City. Hawnville, a low-scoring game, loses to St. John 8-3. Covenant Christian win number 2 in a row. Houma Christian wins their first game of the year over Cohen. Berwick shuts out Centerville. St. James and Edna Carr met in the battle of the all-star teams, and it was all Edna Carr. Central Catholic demolishes McKinley. Donaldsonville is undefeated. They defeat Kentwood. And finally, Ascension Catholic beats Thrive in a forfeiture. Destrehan is the only undefeated team overall in District 7 5A, and they seem to be the early favorite to take that district title. District play starts this week for District 8 4A. Ironically, every team in the district has 2 losses. And what a powerful district District 9 3A is, highlighted by 2 huge district games this Friday night. It'll be E.D. White against Donaldsonville and Lutcher against St. James. And District 8 1A has 1 more week of non-district play before they get into district action. Hanson has the best record overall to this point, 4-1. A preview of some of our bigger Bayou region games. Hawnville will be at Thibodeau, East St. John at H.L. Bourgeois, Destrehan at Central Lafourche. Ellender will be at Vanderbilt Catholic to open 8-4A play. South Lafourche will be at Morgan City, and South Terrebonne will be in Napoleonville to take on Assumption. Donaldsonville at E.D. White, the big game in District 9 3A. Houma Christian is going to be at Thomas Jefferson, and Covenant Christian is going to be at Highland Baptist. And finally, our Bayou region lost 2 influential and well-respected sport figures this past week. It is with heavy hearts that we send out our prayers and thoughts to the family, friends, and Vanderbilt Catholic community as their defensive coordinator, Charlie Cryer, passed away unexpectedly last week. Coach Cryer an ex-LSU standout offensive lineman, was well thought of around the state of Louisiana. And our thoughts and prayers are also with the family of Bob Browning. Everybody knew Bob in the area. He was the assignment secretary for baseball, a longtime college basketball official. He was also involved with high school softball, so well respected in our area. Again, our thoughts and prayers are with the families of these two men.
Yeah, no doubt. And both of those guys were great guys. Bob Browning, for many years, was right behind my back when I was catching for all those Babe Ruth games. We'd talk all the time. He got me set up with Arkansas, University of Arkansas back in the day, because that's where he was a big Hogs fan. So I'm going to miss those two guys.
And Harry, I have a question for you. What are they doing, like at Terrebonne and Lafourche, as far as like school? With these teams? Are they just practicing? Right. Are they homeschooling? Or what is coming about that?
Actually, both of them have a different way to come in. Some schools are coming in now, some are back in school, and then others are coming in week by week. They're doing it on a gradual basis. So some of them are at home and just practicing football.
Thank you, H. We appreciate it. We'll be back with more Sports on the Bayou.
Was your business interrupted by Hurricane Ida? You may be entitled to compensation. Insurance companies may try to pay you much less than your losses, or even deny your claim altogether. St. Martin and Bork and Hafiz Duval are partnering together to fight for your fair payout. Go to myidaclaim.com for your free case review today. Never give up because your insurance company has denied your claim, and never accept a lowball offer. Let St. Martin and Bork and Hafiz Duval help you weather the storm. Visit myidaclaim.com today.
Bacteria and germs run rampant in the air that surrounds us. It's more important than ever to keep our surroundings clean. Introducing Bayou For. Specializing in commercial and residential disinfection applications, Bayou For's advanced treatment process allows them to disinfect more surfaces quickly and effectively, with no inconvenience to staff or family members. Let Bayou For help you create a better environment for everyone. Call for your free consultation today at 985-322-3003.
Sports on the Bayou is brought to you by Louisiana's Cajun Bayou. You'll remember Lafourche. And by St. Martin and Bork, attorneys at law. Know your rights. Sports on the Bayou corporate sponsors are South Louisiana Bank, i.e. Terrebonne General Health Systems and their Community Sports Institute. Barker Honda, the Barker family tradition of quality. Alford and Associates for all of your insurance needs. And Bayou For, disinfecting environmental services. Now let's go back to Sports on the Bayou with Mike Detillier, Bobby Hebert, and Rich Maury.
We're back here on Sports on the Bayou. Normally this would be the Dr. Pat segment, but he didn't want to leave a patient on the table. So, Martin, you got it.
We have a much better looking questionnaire today than
Well, we got to still do why you asking all them questions. Why you asking all them questions?
Why you're making all these statements.
We missed that hook.
All right. All right, so listen carefully because she may try to stump y'all.
Okay.
Here we go.
Hey, guys. I'm Stephanie with Bayou For. And so, of course, this was our first game back in the home for us for the Saints. We all wanted that big win. Unfortunately, we couldn't deliver that. But going forward, when we get all our players back on the team, how do you think we're going to come through with that? And do you think that our morale is going to get back up there for us?
Well,
go ahead, Rich.
It's easy. I mean, they're professionals. They got to come back. If you notice the season from one week to the next, anybody could beat anybody. That'll give you 0-3, 0-10, or whatever.
The only undefeated team is the Cardinals. No one expected
No one would have guessed that.
And then what I heard, though, and I don't know if this is true, I wasn't at the game. I heard that the music wasn't right. They just didn't have an inspirational game time experience.
Bobby, tell him you can't cheer for nothing.
I get that.
The whole thing, and from the get-go, if you want the fans to truly be involved, give them something to cheer for. Well, you want them just to, start screaming like what they going to put you in an insane asylum. Like, what? Well, what are they cheering for? Ain't nothing happening. You have to give something for the fans to cheer for. So when it's quiet, and you know what gets the fans going? When the defense kicks ass. When you sack the opposing quarterback, they go crazy. Not when the offense is scoring, doing all that. No, when the defense, we had 0 sacks. So to me, that was a big factor. But going back to your point, David Onyemata, Michael Thomas, Will Lutz. I mean,
those are 3 of the top 5 players on your team that you don't have.
And 3 of the top players in the NFL, not just the Saints.
At their positions.
So we can't help but win if they come back. I truly believe that.
I agree with Bobby. I think that those guys are key because not only you paying them, but they have produced.
Yes.
And that's the big difference.
Now, wait, what's that, Stephanie? She whispered in my ear that she really loves Rich's hair color. So, yeah.
Come touch it. Come here. You can touch it.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Don't
go
pull
ahead.
it, but you can touch it. See? See, it's real.
No, we never questioned the real part.
No, Rich didn't
well,
get...
I'm a politician now. It's real. I didn't say anything about the color.
Hey, by the way, that was a BioPure moment.
I know.
Rich didn't get transplants like Drew Brees.
Yeah, let me see your hair.
I didn't
get the facial Get a shot of this.
That's his real hair.
Get a shot of this. This is the telling tale.
No rings?
No calluses?
No black on the hair.
No black on the hair.
Bobby would say that.
No, he noticed the rings part.
I'm just
Come on,
looking
Bobby.
at the rings there.
Get your mind out the gutter, buddy.
No, I ain't out the gutter. Just
I know you a trained professional.
It could be a number 1 draft pick.
Bobby, he's always putting his glasses on to see something, but he could spot her hands from that far away.
No, I can see far. I
Put
just
Bobby
can't see
straight
close.
from the beginning.
I can't read. I can see far. I can drive at night. I'm good at all that. I can't see right in front of my face.
Put Bobby straight from the beginning. He's got no chance with no hair.
Hand model? I mean, that's a pretty
Could be a hand model. All right, that's it. How about, was that much better than Dr. Pat? I know he's lost.
Without a doubt.
Got to deal with him next week.
Dr. Pat's not going anywhere. We know that, but I like the substitution.
Thank y'all. We appreciate it. We'll be back with more Sports on the Bayou.
Over the years, Louisiana's Cajun Bayou has seen more than its fair share of challenges. We're no strangers to adversity, and we know what it's like to struggle. These are unprecedented times, and while people will say this time is like nothing they've ever seen, we've heard that before. And just like all the other times, we'll get through this. Remember the good times. Remember Lafouche.
Curtis Calais Welding has been providing contract labor for the offshore oil and gas industry for over 28 years. Curtis Calais Welding is now hiring. All applicants must have a TWIC card and be able to pass an occupational medical exam and a drug screen. Triple C Towing has a fleet of 2 inland tugs to provide service for the oil and gas industry. All vessels are provided with experienced personnel, and we do what we say we will do. Curtis Calais Welding, now hiring, and Triple C Towing, ready to work.
Sports on the Bayou is brought to you by Louisiana's Cajun Bayou. You'll remember Lafouche. And by St. Martin and Bork, attorneys at law. Know your rights. Sports on the Bayou corporate sponsors are South Louisiana Bank, i.e. Terrebonne General Health Systems and their Community Sports Institute. Barker Honda, the Barker family tradition of quality. Alford and Associates for all of your insurance needs. And BioPure, disinfecting environmental services. Now let's go back to Sports on the Bayou with Mike Detillier, Bobby Hebert, and Rich Maury.
We're back here on Sports on the Bayou. H, I'll throw it to you. Man, you working overtime today. You cutting into Hebert's money here.
Yeah, exactly. I tell you what we're talking. We're talking soccer, and we're talking a story first. This is Nichols' soccer coach and assistant coach is Robert Podine. This is Kayla King, both from the Fresno area. They come to us from the Fresno area, but we hired them this August, right?
Came in late July.
July. And we all know what came in August, right? So they were here about 2 weeks before the storm came, and now they're trying to run a season, and obviously Nichols is trying to get their soccer program up and running. Let's first talk about it. Where are you from? And people said, oh, hurricanes, don't worry about them, no big deal. And then 2 weeks later, you guys are in 150-mile-an-hour winds. Hopefully not in the winds, but yeah, tell me about the experience of being hired here and how it started.
Well, I guess it started in May, June, and they reached out to me, asked me if I'd be interested in talking with them, and I did, and so from there, just kind of went through the process, and when visited, they called me a few days later and offered me the position. Got there in late July. We had 5 days to kind of get things running, and before preseason began. And then, of course, Ida came through. She was a little cranky, so we had to leave, evacuate before the hurricane. And my wife and I had lived in Central Florida for 14 and a half years, so we had been through hurricanes and things like that. And so, but we had never ever evacuated before, so we evacuated and waited 3 days, and then we evacuated some more, and we waited another 8 days, and then met the team and went to Louisiana, Monroe, and lived there on campus for about 2 weeks. And actually had our first home game last Friday. So we spent half our season on the road to start, which is brutal in any sport. Right. So we were thankful to have our first home game last Friday, and so now we're looking forward to the second half of the season.
Right. So you're trying to build a program, Kayla, and I'm sure you're helping recruiting, roster management. How do you build a roster when you get a job just a month before the season starts?
I think that it's just kind of how you kind of go about recruiting and kind of just talking to the girls and selling what we have to offer. Really trying to just sell the girls based off of, what we're trying to bring to the table and what we're trying to bring to Nicholls State and change the winning culture and trying to make it into a winning culture. And I think that that's kind of our selling point right now. And hopefully girls will buy into it, and we want girls that want to win and girls that want to buy in.
Right, and I guess part of it is going to be developmental too, right? Yeah. Because you don't have a culture, right? Yeah. You're not just going to roll the ball out and these 5 stars are going to come down and start playing. So how do you build a roster like that, Robin?
Well, it takes a lot of patience, a lot of time. You've got to really kind of invest in the players and relationships, get them to buy into what we're trying to do. Then from there, it's about trying to develop the players, and then from there, bringing in other players that'll challenge them and make it a stronger kind of program, and helping them believe they can win moving forward.
Harry, I have a question. Does that? Really, you have a question? I always have a question. Now, does that help Nicholls State when you consider, because in this region, the recognition that LSU's women's soccer program is getting? Because you might, look how competitive they are. That has to even help, I think, around this area.
30 seconds.
Well, obviously LSU is a strong program, but I think we can compete with them. It's just a matter of helping our kids believe, and then from there challenging them on the field, which I think we can do in a couple of years.
We'll get those players in, and we're going to get this program turned around. So it's got to go up from here, guys. Thanks so much for being here. Good luck. Thanks for having us. We'll be right back with more Sports on the Bayou.
In the aftermath of Hurricane Ida, insurance companies may try to pay you much less than your losses or even deny your claim altogether. St. Martin and Bork and Hoffest Duval are partnering together to help you during this difficult time. Our hurricane insurance recovery attorneys will fight for you and your loved ones. Go to myidaclaim.com for your free case review today. Never give up because your insurance company has denied your claim, and never accept a lowball offer. Let St. Martin and Bork and Hoffest Duval help you weather the storm. Visit myidaclaim.com today.
Our dear South Louisiana community is recovering from one of the worst storms our area has ever seen. At Cardiovascular Institute of the South, our hearts are with you, and we stand with you as we have for nearly 40 years. Times like these are a true testament to the unity and humanity of our vibrant community. We are resilient, we will rebuild, and we'll get through this. We have a bright future ahead, and we're moving forward. Together, we will emerge stronger than ever.
Sports on the Bayou is brought to you by Louisiana's Cajun Bayou. You'll remember Lafourche. And by St. Martin and Bork, attorneys at law. Know your rights. Now let's go back to Sports on the Bayou with Mike Detillier, Bobby Hebert, and Rich Maury.
We're finishing up here on Sports on the Bayou. Terry, you got a question for us?
Oh, I sure do. Martin, inquiring minds want to know, who or where did you get the product to color your goatee?
Oh,
well, that's a great question, Terry.
But
As you know, the tip of my beard was white, so that's what showed on TV. But when I trimmed it too short, the roots were black.
Oh.
So that's what you're seeing now, the roots.
So you're talking about just a touch
That's a
of
real
gray.
conservative
The roots
answer
are
right
infected,
there.
is what he's saying. So we need some of that bio stuff.
All I
again.
know is Joni gives me a lecture every time she thinks I put color in my goatee.
Well, the thing is, you probably don't put color in your goatee because I would say that is natural because I look on the side, you got that touch of gray, the white
Salt
on the
and pepper,
side.
they call
That's
that.
that German. That's that German
Salt and
descent.
pepper.
Salt and pepper, a little
Yeah.
more pepper, a little
All
more
right,
salt.
yeah, that's a great question, Terry. But what's your real question now?
No, the real question was in reference to the Saints. When we had Drew Brees, we were 60-40, 70-30, pass, run. Now we're 60-40, 70-30, run, pass. Do you think that it's Sean Payton's not having the confidence in Winston?
Well, not having the confidence in Winston, but he's just trying to win the game. I mean, you could say it's not confidence in Winston, but, a team changes. He knows the strength right now is on the defensive side of the ball. So you might say, well, just don't lose the game. But then when you can't close out games like the Giants, then it reflects back on the offense. So then it comes back to you. So I think sometimes it's a lack of confidence in Jameis not wanting him to screw it up, to throw an interception, whatever. But I just think, listen, you don't appreciate what you don't have when he ain't there no more. And Drew Brees. So no matter who they had at quarterback, I'm telling you.
That question would come up.
Yeah, it would come up. I still think they're going to lean upon Alvin Kamara and how they want to manage the game. Sean Payton knows that it's critical for them to be on the plus side in the turnover margin. Now, the Giants, we were at 0. It wasn't minus or it wasn't positive. We still +5. We number 1 in the NFL in that turnover margin. And Sean's just trying to be a winning coach and get to the playoffs. It doesn't look sexy. I mean, it doesn't look like, fantasy football. What Saints players can you pick to be on your fantasy football team? Sean's just trying to win.
He's an analytical guy. He believes in analytics, and it's all numbers, man. And they got all this computer stuff now. And at this position, it's a percentage thing, and he plays the numbers.
And we might be more wide open when Michael Thomas comes back in the fold.
But it'll only be a tad more.
Yeah, just a little more. But because look, this is the thing I'm gonna let you go. You normally would win. We were 62% on third down. They were 36%. We were 100% in the red zone. They were 33%. How the hell we lost that game?
We'll be back next week with another version of Sports on the Bayou.